All right, guys, what's going on? Bear with me just a moment. I'm trying to get everything set up here. I want to make sure that I'm actually live before I start this, and allow just a few minutes for some viewers to join the stream. So bear with me one moment. I'm going to try to pull this up on my phone so I can check out some of the comments that come in over the course of the stream. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. Feel free to ask any questions. All right, so you can probably anticipate this, but what we're going to talk about today is some of the price action that we are seeing in the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and the market overall, right? It's been absolutely insane today, absolutely insane. We got more news out of China. One of the exchanges voluntarily shut down, and there was a massive sell-off because of it, and it was a very good buying opportunity. My heart is racing about 1,000,000 miles an hour right now because I was able to take advantage of it. I got home just in the nick of time, and I was able to buy some. I just bought 20 Ethereum, 1 Bitcoin, and 50 Litecoin. So I'm not completely convinced that this is the bottom, and I'll explain that here in a sec. We'll go over some of the technicals that I want to point out. We might not be at the bottom, but we're very close. So at this point, the risk to reward is very low. The reward at this point is very high. So I obviously I didn't go in with all my cash. I still have probably 30 grand sitting on the sideline, but I really wanted to see 3,000 before I go all in with that, because at that point there's almost no risk. And like I said, I'll go over that here in a minute. Let me make sure. Okay, I want to say we're situated here. Let me check the stream for comments, live chat. What do we have here? All right, this is pretty much my my first YouTube live stream. Usually, I stream on Facebook, and usually our editor-in-chief over at cryptoanswers.net guides me through the process, or he shares the video and helps me get it set up. But right now I'm doing this all myself. He's at work, but I wanted to take a minute to talk about what's going on right now. So I'm not sure how many viewers we have right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start over, right? So my name is Creighton Piper. Today is Thursday, September the 14th, and there's a massive sell-off going on right now. It's a very good opportunity to go live. I've been waiting this out all month. For the past 14 days, Bitcoin hit $5,000. Knew it was going to pull back. Everybody knew it. I don't know why anyone bought and drove it up to that price. I don't know how or why that happened. But it sold off, it sold off, it sold off. And I've been very patient over the past 2 weeks, because God knows every time there's another sell-off, it looks like a very good buying opportunity. $4,000 looked pretty attractive there for a while because there was so much support, and we ended up holding that level for a couple of days, but I wasn't satisfied. The reason is, hopefully you guys can see this chart clearly, because I'm going to talk about some of the support levels here. The top line here, that is the 50-day moving average. So I did a live stream on Facebook last night, and I talked about this. At the time, we were sitting right on top of the 50-day moving average. I talked about how there was quite a bit of support there, because there wasn't a whole lot of justification for that, other than it's just a line on a graph. It did represent a significant amount of support, and then we held that right at about $3,900 overnight. So then there was some more news. There was more news out of China. One of the exchanges voluntarily shut down, essentially. They froze transactions. And then there's this massive sell-off. And we have Charlie Lee beating us up on Twitter, and everybody's eating it up. And there's this massive sell-off. Now, let's take a look at the second line here. This is the 100-day moving average. That's the purple line you see right there. and it sits at $3,200. So I don't know if you guys have been tracking the live price here, but that's pretty much where it bounced. It bounced right off that 100-day moving average. We didn't quite see 3,200. I think I did see 3,250 at one point. Now we're at almost 3,450. But where was I going with that? Excuse me. We pretty much bounced right off that $3,200 level. And I also started talking about last night how, pardon me guys, I'm losing my voice here because I've been doing so much live streaming. Also, my job requires me to talk all day. I'm an air traffic controller, so I talk all day every day, and then I live stream on top of it. Anyways, back to the video. So here's the June high, right? That was almost $3,000. We sold off, it was about a 38% sell-off all the way down to 1,900-ish. And then we got back up to almost 3,000 again before there's a small sell-off, and then the run up all the way to 5,000, right? So these levels right here, these peaks, those are tremendous support levels at this point. So on top of the psychological support that we're going to see at $3,000, the technical support that we see just below the $3,000 level is going to boost the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these different cryptos. Is going to boost, or at least provide resistance, right? So we have the 100-day moving average at 3,200. We have technical and psychological resistance at 3,000. And then I did this last night. I'm going to do it again. I'll crunch the numbers. Like I said, there was a 38% sell-off from the June high to the July low, 38%. And what we've seen right now, we're sitting at about 3,450, I'm going to call it. So that is a $1,550 sell-off, right? So, well, what am I trying to do here? 5,000 minus 3,450 is 1,550. Okay, so 1,550 divided by 5,000, that's where we started. 31.31. That's a 31% sell-off. So the sell-off that we have just seen is tremendous. Obviously, I mean, look at these candles. Absolutely insane. But it's still not on par with the sell-off that we saw from June to July over the course of that month. So there is definitely a possibility that we're not at the bottom yet. We had one hell of a bounce off that 100-day moving average there, off the purple line. But I don't know if it'll hold. I'm not sure. Every time we get a bounce like this, there's more bad news, right? China bans some more exchanges or bans ICOs, or they come up with something to make a headline and drive the market down. So barring any more bad news, maybe we'll hold this level. There's a good chance that'll happen, but there's also a chance that we will continue down to about the $3,000 level where we find the rest of the support. I said this on my Facebook stream last night. I said it. I've been saying it for probably a week. I don't think we're gonna see 2,000 or anything below 3,000. The chances of that happening are almost zero. There's so much support between even where we are now at 3,400 and the $3,000 level, the previous June highs. There's so much support that it's absolutely incredible, and so I don't know, like Coinbase would have to go down, or the US would have to start banning exchanges. Something stupid would have to happen for us to break all of that support. So I don't think it'll happen. But in case it does, let's look at one more resistance level, and this is or one more support level rather. This is the 200-day moving average, and that sits at about $2,400. And obviously, as the price of Bitcoin fluctuates, that average is going to be moving as well. But it sits significantly below that $3,000 level there. I only bring it up to mention it just in case we bypass that $3,000 threshold, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Let's take a look at the live price here again real quick. $3,430. We're holding pretty steady there. By the way, when I bought my Bitcoin just now, it was at about 3,300. Ethereum was 230. Litecoin was about 48. So I think I honestly believe that I got in at a pretty good point, and the risk is very low. The reward is very high at this point, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm still not going to freak out if we drop back down to 3,000. That's when I'm going to use the rest of my cash and go absolutely crazy because there's going to be an absolute fortune to be made at that point. But we're just gonna have to see what happens there. So I'm looking at the chat right now. RDX Titan just made a comment. He says, "Thanks for the update." No problem, bro. Thanks for the feedback. Do you think we will see any limitations on new ICOs similar to China in the near future? So I'm assuming what you're asking here is if other countries are going to kind of join the fray, get in on this, and start banning ICOs. And the short answer here is no. I don't think that's going to happen. China is a little bit off the hinges with their regulation. They are a communist country after all, and so they have a lot of sway over policy and regulation, and they don't have to worry about the politics angle. They just do what they want for the most part. So China is kind of a wild card in that respect, and that's why they've managed to essentially crash the market here. Now, it hasn't been only China. Some other notable people, Jamie Dimon is primarily who I'm referring to right now. They came forward and they started saying, Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin's a fraud. If you buy into it, you're an idiot. You're going to lose all your money and it's going to zero, right? There's really no basis for that. I mean, what he claimed was the basis is the simple fact that there is nothing backing Bitcoin. In his words, there's nothing backing Bitcoin. And really, he's wrong. I talked about this in my live stream last night. What is backing Bitcoin is this amazing community that supports it, and we want this to be the way of the future. We want to be able to use it for transactions just like we use a US dollar and like a Visa card today. But not only that, it actually costs a tremendous amount of money to produce one Bitcoin. The cost is somewhere just above $1,000. The cost to produce a Bitcoin. The reason for that, the equipment that is used to mine is very expensive. If you go and buy a single ant miner, I think the S9 is like $1,500. Let me Google this just to make sure. I don't want to be lying to you guys. Antminer S9 price. Oh wow! I don't know if this is a new one or what. $3,000. So there's some variations. All right. I've never done any mining in my life, by the way. So uh, maybe I should be talking about miners. I see some very expensive one. Some very expensive miners. This must have been the one I was looking at the other day. I don't know. But thousands of dollars, right, just for one of these miners. And if anyone gets into it very seriously at all, they're going to have a collection of them. So they're going to be tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hole starting off. And they have to make a lot of money just to break even initially. Not to mention the um, cost of mining, the cost of running your computer, all those miners, all day, every day, endlessly. The cost is very high. Electricity, especially here in the United States, is very expensive. I forget what the average is. I think it's like 7 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's pretty expensive. Compare that to countries like Russia, where the average cost of electricity is about 1.3 cents per kilowatt hour, and they have an absolutely insane competitive advantage over what we have here in the United States. And that's why Russia has really entered the market here in full force. So that's something to think about. Also, it's a cooler climate, so they're running all these machines that produce heat, and the climate helps cool it off by default. So that's pretty interesting. Another thing to think about in that respect that is helping sort of bring the average cost per coin for mining Bitcoin. It's helping to bring the price down is solar mining or solar powered electricity used for mining. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my website actually, or it's not my website. It belongs to a good friend of mine, Alan Steinberg, awesome dude, and I'm working with him. We're building this website. Here we go. Here's the article: Solar Power and Crypto Mining, a match made in heaven, right? And really, the two are made to run side by side. This article talks about how there's a Reddit user that he wrote a story back in 2012. This has been around. It's not news. It's not like breaking news by any means, but it's just something interesting that I wanted to point out and break down because it's still very, very relevant today, especially as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the complexity, the difficulty of mining goes up, and therefore the expense goes up, especially as electricity gets uh, more and more expensive as the cost of living goes up. But anyways, solar is really, really doing wonders in reducing the cost of electricity and therefore reducing the cost of one Bitcoin. But I say all that to say, Bitcoin is backed by that. So even if there is some catastrophic news, um, I don't think the price would ever fall below $1,000. Um, like I said, I don't think it's going to fall below 3,000 because there's so much support there. I'll go back to the chart here. We have the 100-day moving average there at 3,200, and then we have all of the technical resistance from the previous high sitting there at $3,000. So the chances of us exceeding that are very, very low. All right, looks like we only have 2 viewers right now. That's all right. I'm gonna keep going and hope some more people tune in. Feel free to comment. I would love to get some questions going and some viewer interaction, and I will do my best to answer your questions. I am monitoring the chat on my phone, so just let me know what you guys got. For now, let's take a look at the live chart. There we go, man. We're almost up to $3,500 for Bitcoin. Ethereum is almost up to 245, and Litecoin, it's still down over 15.5% today, and that's surprising. Honestly, that's actually pretty surprising. But Litecoin, at this point, it has a ways to run. It's down almost 50% off of its all-time high in the 90s. I have a lot of faith in Litecoin. The technology is excellent, even better than the technology behind Bitcoin. I mean, they both use blockchain, but Litecoin transactions are faster, and the scalability is not as much of an issue, especially since they're using Lightning and Bitcoin is not. Anyways, let's move on down here. Bitcoin Cash broke 500 hard. Now it's sitting at 436. It's down 12% on the day. Omise Go. This is one of the absolute hottest altcoins right now. Omise Go has so much going for it. I just listened to a video today by what's the guy's name? I forget, but he really broke down Omise Go and everything that has to offer, and it's a phenomenal project. The people backing it are very, very active. They're very transparent. They communicate everything they're doing behind the scenes very, very well. And I would highly recommend it. If you don't know much about Omise Go, find some videos. I haven't made one, unfortunately. I've never made a video on Omise Go, but I probably will here soon because it's drawing a lot of attention, and I'm sure my viewers would appreciate it. But go do some research, listen to some videos, read some articles, read the white paper on Omise Go, and it's an impressive project. Today it's down 12%. It has been faring much, much better over the course of this whole sell-off than Bitcoin has. In fact, let's go take a look at the max chart for Omise Go. What? Okay. Here we go. It's still 11th in market cap. I'm gonna pull up the max chart here. I think the max price was like 13 bucks. All right, there we are. Yep, just under 13 there. Okay, 13.20. 13.20 is the all-time max price for Omise Go. So $9 only represents what's $4 from 13. This math is blowing my mind right now. 4 divided by 13. So that's about a 30% retracement. Actually, okay, I was wrong. So it is completely keeping pace with Bitcoin. They both sold off about 31%. But I mean, look at that fall. There's so much going for Omise Go at this point. As soon as I end this live stream, I'm not too worried about this because as the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum go up, so will the price of Omise Go. But I want to go ahead and spread some of my Ethereum, especially, into some of these other altcoins. I'll probably buy some Ripple, buy some Omise Go, some 10x, who knows what else. But that can wait. I really want to get this live stream out there because the market's so hot right now. All right, so Bitcoin almost hit 3,500 there. Now it's dropping just a little bit. 3,467, down 10% today for Bitcoin. Ethereum is down as well at 240 bucks. What are we up to? Down to one viewer. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. In hopes that we get some more viewers, I'm going to go back to my Bitfinex chart here, and I'm going to cover the technicals once more. And if we don't get any more viewers by then I'll probably go ahead and shut this down and revisit it in the future. But anyways, what we're looking at is the, if you can see them on the screen here, the blue line is the 50-day moving average. The purple line is the 100-day moving average, and the pink/fuchsia line, that's the 200-day moving average. And when I first started doing these streams, I didn't even use the 200-day moving average as a technical indicator. I did not even think it was relevant. But now, I mean, we just fell from almost $4,000 to $3,250 in a matter of hours. In the last 12 hours, we've seen that much price action. So all of a sudden, it became relevant. So now I'm including it on my chart here. But the two support levels that are most relevant currently are the 50-day moving average right here, and then the 100-day moving average here. Yesterday, the 50-day moving average really came into play, and we held that level. It was about $3,900. We managed to hold that level overnight, and then today, when more negative news hit the headlines, and Charlie Lee started talking about all the stuff that's going on in China, and some of the, or at least one of the exchanges voluntarily shut down. Now that all of a sudden there's this massive sell-off again, and all of a sudden the 100-day moving average is very much in play. And I don't know how clear this stream is, how well, it looks pretty dark. I'm looking at it. I wish I knew how to change the colors here. I'll just use my pointer here. That's the 200-day moving average right there. And I'm sorry, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the 100-day moving average. And that sits at about $3,200. Now the low for the day was 3,250, or maybe just below it. And as soon as we hit it, bam, we bounced right back up. Now we're sitting at 3,470. We're holding pretty strong there, just below 3,500. So I think that that 100-day moving average may be the level that is going to end up being the turning point for Litecoin and for the crypto market. I've said this, I don't know how many times, I'll say it again. If we do manage to break that 100-day moving average, we're going to be looking at about $3,000 after that for the next resistance level or next support level. And that's the reason for that is the 38% retracement. That's going to take us back down to about $3,100. Excuse me. And the reason why that figure is key is because from the June high to the July low, that was a 38% retracement. So there's going to be a lot of support at 3,000 because of that. There is support at 3,100 because of the 38% retracement. And then after that, all we have really to back Bitcoin is the 200-day moving average. But who knows if that's really going to be in play. Here we are looking at the live chart again. Actually, no, what I want to do. All right, look at that market cap. This is the crypto market cap overall. It's coming in just shy of $115 billion US. I don't know if you remember when we saw the high back in it was the 1st of September. We were looking at $180 billion. So since then we've lost about 65 billion. So 65 divided by 180. That's not right. Well, I must have misclicked. 65 divided by 180. 36%. So Bitcoin is down about 31%. Litecoin is down about 31%. But the overall market is down almost 36%. So some of these altcoins have been getting hit tremendously hard. I'm looking at NEM is down 23%. Omise Go is down 24% just today. And I need to refresh this. This is not. Let's go back to the live chart. IOTA is down 10.4%. IOTA has been hit pretty hard as well lately. Look, everything's down double digits. Everything. Neo. Okay, the all-time high for Neo was almost $50. It's now down to 17, so NEO's down over 60% at this point. That is absolutely crazy. It does make sense because NEO is China's Ethereum, so it was going to be the decentralized app platform that Ethereum is for the rest of the world, and there were going to be all these ICOs built on top of it. But that didn't happen because China came forward and they banned all the ICOs. So that's why NEO got absolutely smashed. Now there's a chance that these China bans um, they won't be permanent, and I think the chance of that is very, very good. China caused the initial crash back in June that took us down to $1,900, and now China's in the news again. It's doing it all over again. I think this is temporary. I think China wants to get a grip on the market. China wants to regulate cryptocurrency, Bitcoin especially, and they probably want to tax it. As much as I hate to say that, and I hate that that's becoming a reality, but I think that it is. I think that's what's going on here. But once China gets ICOs and markets and everything under control, they're going to reopen it to the public. Why would they not? It's going to be an insane tax revenue stream, and it's going to boost the economy. So they would be stupid to ban it long term, but I understand what they're doing. So NEO probably represents an unbelievable buying opportunity right now at under $17.50. Yeah, good buying opportunity there. Let's scroll down here. PureCoin. I always like to mention PureCoin because PureCoin was the very first cryptocurrency to start testing proof of stake. It's been around since 2014, and it's actually a hybrid coin. It uses proof of stake and proof of work, just like mining, like Bitcoin and everything else. But it did bring proof of stake to the forefront before anything else. So, all right, we're up to 5 streamers now. So, welcome to the stream, guys. That is absolutely awesome. And I have a comment. Let's see. Okay, Brian Striper. He's asking, I'm debating signing up for BitConnect under you. Even with these significant drops in Bitcoin, will we see good returns? The answer is absolutely 100% hands down. We're going to see good returns. If you want, don't sign up right now. Wait until if you go to the site, bitconnect.co, you can go up here to BitConnect Lending, right? Click on that. Scroll down to the volatility software. This is where you can track the percentage payout day to day. And I don't think tomorrow's is up yet, but it's going to be astronomical. We're probably going to see, I'm going to estimate 3%. It would not at all be far-fetched to see 3% interest payment tomorrow because we have seen so much volatility in the market today that it's absolutely unbelievable. Today, we're going to get almost 2%. And that was, I forget what price action caused that, but it was nothing like what we've seen today. So I'm thinking 3% for tomorrow. So just wait and see what happens. Or if you do sign up under me right now, and that would be awesome, by the way. I really appreciate that. You would be the first person to do so, and I would be absolutely stoked. But if you signed up right now and in time to take advantage of this payout right here, tomorrow's is going to be huge, minimum 2%. You might be able to bank 5% in the first 48 hours of your investment. That is quite possible. We're just going to have to see. But if you want, just hang out, see what the payout's going to be. And I'm probably going to make another investment in BitConnect because these percentages, as we see this volatility, there's a lot of money to be made in BitConnect. So this is pretty awesome. I don't know if you have seen this page before, if you've been keeping track of the volatility software and the interest that we're paying out. This right here, it's going to happen every now and then, so just expect it. It's not a scam. It's not BitConnect saying, like, basically, you know, screw you, we're just going to give you 0% because we can. On that day, we saw absolute zero volatility. I think we held at like $4,100 or something all day. I don't think there was a $100 fluctuation in the price of Bitcoin. Now today we've seen $39.50 and we've seen $32.50. So volatility has been through the roof. And that's why we're going to see an absolutely awesome interest payment because of it. So yeah, continue to follow that, and I think BitConnect is going to be a pretty promising investment in the near term because as the price of Bitcoin turns around, as the market turns around, we're going to see the rhetoric completely flip flop. China's gonna drop out of the news. We're going to start talking about Bitcoin's Lightning Network again. We'll start talking about SegWit2x. We'll start talking about Byzantium and Constantinople. Those are the two parts of the Ethereum hard fork that's coming up, and they're releasing a lot of promising upgrades to some of these major cryptocurrencies. So once that stuff starts hitting the news, and it's coming soon, all that is supposed to happen in October. The market's going to shift, and there's going to be more volatility, but instead of negative volatility, it'll be positive volatility, and all of us that have been hanging in there over the long term is finally going to start paying off. So Brian Striper, that question was from him. Thanks for chiming in. That's a good question. That was definitely valid. All right, so let's take a look at the live charts again. Oof, we dropped back down to 3,400. Not surprising. By the way, for anyone that's new to the stream, I'll just let you know that I finally initiated a position in Bitcoin. I've been just crossing my fingers and exercising self-control for the past 2 weeks, essentially, since the 1st of September. I knew the sell-off was coming. I think most everyone saw it coming. And we dropped 10% in like 12 hours. As soon as we hit 5,000, then the China news hit. We dropped another 10% down to 4,000. Now we're down 20%. And then more and more negative news has continued to just berate the market. And now we're all the way down at 3,400. However, this might not be the bottom. I'm going to go over this one more time. I'll go over the technical levels that we're looking at here. Last night we hit the 50-day moving average right here at $3,900. It did provide some supports. We held the $3,900 level overnight, and then this morning comes around and Charlie Lee gets on Twitter and starts talking about what's going on in China, and then some of the exchanges start voluntarily shutting down. As of now, China has not forced any exchanges to shut down. It hasn't executed martial control in that manner. So far, only one exchange has done this voluntarily in order to comply and remain in the good graces of China. Now, if China does go to that extent and they do start forcing these exchanges to shut down and cease trading, then we're going to see another massive fall in the price of Bitcoin, and that might be enough to drop us below the $3,000 mark, but I don't think so. I don't think so because of the absolute asinine amount of support that we're seeing there. The 100-day moving average lies at $3,200, and that's going to, I mean, we already bounced off of that once. We bounced from 3,200 up to 3,500, and now we're holding at 34. So there's a lot of resistance there. There is a lot of resistance at the $3,000 level because of previous highs, and also because of the 38% retrace level. That is important because that's what happened back from June to July. So anyways, I'm repeating myself here, so some of you guys that have been with me for the duration of this live stream, you've heard this for about the 3rd time. But I wanted to make sure that I covered that for some of the newcomers because it's important. You want to keep an eye on this 100-day moving average, and then you want to keep an eye on the news. With that in mind, let's go to the news. I like news.bitcoin.com. Let's see what they have for breaking news. Every couple hours, they have something out. Markets update, cryptocurrency prices dip, hitting the 30-day low. All right, we already talked about that. That's old news. That was last night. That's old news. This is pretty cool. They're really starting to increase the technology behind all of these mining systems, right? This company is investing $10 billion to start 7 nanometer, 5 nanometer, and 3.5 nanometer research and build some new chips, and that will substantially increase the rate in which these coins are mined and probably reduce the cost. So that's interesting, but as proof of stake becomes more relevant and proof of work becomes less relevant, I don't know, some of these projects might not bear as much fruit as you would assume for that reason. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more proof of stake, a lot less proof of work, because the energy requirements and the cost requirements are so much lower. They're like 90% lower. So we'll probably start to see that. Let's see what else. Crypto Panic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this site, CryptoPanic.com. I'm not affiliated with it in any way, but I do like to use it for, holy cow, I like to use it for real-time news. This is incredible, actually. This is 1 minute ago. This headline was just updated 1 minute ago. Gas. Prices up 43%. So this is, the reason why that blows my mind is because gas is closely associated with NEO. NEO's down 8%. Gas is essentially what powers NEO, and it's up, what was that, 42%? Almost 43%. Mind blown. That's pretty incredible. What else we have here? 6 minutes ago, doesn't matter. Okay, this is definitely significant. 9 minutes ago, here's the headline. OKCoin and Huobi to meet with regulators tomorrow as BTCC announces temporary suspension. That is the exchange that I was talking about earlier. That's the one that voluntarily suspended trading. So let's read this. This will be worth checking out. Scan this real quick. So it looks like their decision to suspend trading is completely because of the ICO bans that China has implemented. So they just want to make sure that they're not breaking any laws here. They want to be in the good graces of China. So that makes sense. Charlie Lee, this is what I was talking about. He every time he posts something on Twitter, like his words carry so much weight. The crypto community has so much respect for Charlie Lee that everything he says moves the market. So what was his comment? They're meeting tomorrow with regulators. They might soon change their tune. Meaning, okay, so these are other Chinese exchanges, OKCoin and Huobi. I think they're two of the biggest. So what he's saying is they might voluntarily freeze transactions as well, just following in the footsteps of BTCC to also stay in the good graces of China. If that happens, we're going to see another sell-off. It's guaranteed. We're going to see another sell-off. And back to the technicals, we'll probably see a sell-off at least at the $3,000 level if that happens, at least to 3,000. And that will bring the 200-day moving average into play. And who knows what can happen after that. But like I said already, probably won't happen. Probably won't fall below 3,000. And when we do get to that level, I'm going to be buying an absolute crap ton of cryptocurrency. So yeah, I mean the risk at that level will be absolute rock bottom, and the reward will be pretty high. We could fall below it. Shoot, we could see. I mean, anything's possible. Maybe we hit the 200-day moving average at $2,400. Doesn't matter. It's going to go back up eventually, and I don't think it's going to take very long, especially with the volatility that we're seeing right now. As soon as we close above one of these averages, like let's say we just hit the 100-day moving average at 3,400, I'm sorry, 3,200, and then we bounce right back up to 35. So let's say it holds there for a little while, and we start to kind of consolidate at that level, and then we run up to the 50-day moving average at about 3,900 again. That's when everyone's going to start buying it, if they haven't already. I know Data Dash, if you follow him on YouTube, I respect him a lot. He's a smart dude, and he initiated his first Bitcoin purchase at about 3,450. Now, I was fortunate enough to undercut him. I bought at, like I said, about 3,300 Bitcoin, 230 Ethereum, and $48 Litecoin. So I was fortunate. I think my position is looking pretty solid at this point. I mean, obviously, I've already made money, but the risk is very low. And if we get down to that $3,000 mark, that's when I unleash my entire life savings. And even if it does fall to levels much below that, it's going to recover. It's going to recover. It's just a matter of time. So for anyone that has a sizable position at this point, no matter what happens, keep your cool. Don't get emotionally involved. Don't get emotionally charged. And don't sell on an impulse. That would not be wise because you will end up regretting it. Anyways, back to the live chart. So, all right, we did not even manage to hold $3,400. We're back underneath it. Ethereum is under 240 now. Litecoin is back under 50. So here we go. Maybe we're going to keep falling. I don't even know. All right, so we're back down to 2 viewers now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream right here. For those of you that did tune in, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to subscribe because as everything heats up in the crypto market, it's getting more and more volatile, at least in the near term. And it's very exciting. So it's fun to talk about this stuff live as it happens. Shoot, gas is up 51% now. I mean, that must have happened in the past hour or two. So absolutely incredible. I don't know if that's a foreshadowing of what is to come for Ethereum, or if someone knows something that we don't. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe. I will be doing more live stream events in the future. I will figure out how to share this on the fly because this is my first real live stream event. So anyways, I'm going to get better at this moving forward. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm wishing everyone good health and good fortune as usual. Peace.